Hell yeah. Oh no.
I dream of indie.
Greetings, Indie Warriors! Welcome to I Dream of Indie. My name is Gamer Joe, and today we are taking a look at SPOOKWARE on the Steam PC platform. If you couldn't figure it out by the title, or if you didn't happen to see the trailer for this game, it is very clearly inspired by the WarioWare game series, which, if you are not familiar with, is basically a series of quick-paced microgames. So my understanding is that SPOOKWARE is going to be broken up into a series of different episodes. Here with this version of the game, you'll just be getting the first episode, which is about 3.5, they're saying, chapters and 60 micro games in total for about 5 hours of gameplay. This was originally planned to be a full review of the game, but I guess because the game is broken up in such a way, that wouldn't really be fair, and also, for some unfortunate reasons, I just couldn't play much more of this game. Before I get into all of that though, let's talk about the main story setup for SPOOKWARE, which involves 3 skeleton brothers, Lefty, Middy, and Righty, who decide to go on a road trip that will take them all over the place. In my time with the game, I ended up at a school trying to recruit a band, and then on a luxury boat trying to solve a murder mystery. Initially, because of the way this game starts, I thought it was just going to be micro game after micro game, and actually there's a little bit more to this one, as there's some explorative elements. You're dropped into these different areas like the school that I mentioned, and you're actually on foot at this point, where you can talk to different characters around the area, and you will pick up little quests, which usually will lead to another micro game. But that's really all the exploration has boiled down to so far: finding the right character to speak to, and then completing a micro game, which ultimately leads to watching a video cassette that consists of 9 of those micro games that you have to try to complete without getting a game over. Again, you have 3 lives to do so. There is some pretty decent writing in the game, actually. Some of the character interactions were quite funny. If only I could have enjoyed them more, which I'll get into in a moment here with the visuals. As far as the micro games themselves, they're a blast from the ones that I ran into. There's such things as skeletons that need to be put back together. You have to saw through meat, for example. There's just a pretty good variety of different ones, and they're all hilarious and, of course, kind of Halloween spooky themed. These micro games are going to come at you fast with very simple controls. The controls are a little bit weird in this game though, just because of the fact that it does have controller support, which is mostly fine, but certain micro games won't allow you to use the controller at all. You'll have to switch to the mouse, and it can be a little bit strange and awkward at times to bounce back between the controller and the keyboard. So if you don't mind mouse and keyboard controls, it might just be better off sticking with those. Overall, all of the mini games were fun. The writing is pretty decent in this one, but here's where the game really suffers. I like the art style of the game, but they've made some visual decisions here that, well, ended up ruining the experience for me almost in entirety. There's this hazy, wavy effect over every area of this game, and it really truly was migraine-inducing. That would be okay, I guess, if you had the option of turning it off, but there's really not many options in this game at all outside of tweaking the audio a little bit or changing the resolution. You gotta be kidding me. You have to have the option to turn this effect off. It really truly did ruin my experience and made me just not want to play anymore. That actually really bummed me out, because I loved pretty much everything else about this game. I think the soundtrack is really cute, quirky, over the top, funny. I like the silly writing. I do like the art style of the game. They've just made a really poor decision with that wavy, weird effect that is just awful on my eyes, and I had other people look at the game too just to verify. They also couldn't really stare at it for more than a few minutes. So yeah, that will need to be fixed. If it can be, I would be more willing to recommend this game, and maybe you'll be more able to tolerate that than I was. Overall, I think this game has some great ideas. I do think it's very much a blatant ripoff of a game that exists, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Get that visual option in there to turn off that weird effect, and I'll probably be back on board with this one.
Hell yeah.
I thank you so much for watching the latest video from I Dream of Indie. We would now like to take a moment to pay tribute to our great indie warriors who support us through channel memberships. Mitchell Hall, Bunny, Kevalo, Bill Tcaz, Christian Cruz, Strict9, Chris Jackson, Nathan Moore, Peach, Adriana, Amato, CJR, Falco Lombardi, C. Coyle, Skepticism, Jen Rose, Jesse, CPM, and Julian Colbus. Thank you for all you do for independent developers, publishers, and for I Dream of Indie. Everybody else, please head down to the description box below so we can defeat the echo chamber and bring a voice to the voiceless ones in gaming.